Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Eustace Pharmer, and today I present to you an in-depth look at the Modern Classic DLC pack by the winner of the Mod Contest 2017, Matt XJX. This pack is available for $4.99 US, and it's for Windows, including Steam, Mac, and you're going to have to be running version 1.5 or higher for your farming simulator game in order to enjoy this pack. So if you don't play through Steam, then you need to go on over to the Giants website and download the latest update if you haven't already. So we're going to be talking about not only what's included in this pack, but I've also been keeping an eye on the community as far as feedback regarding the pack goes, and I've also polled some friends and subscribers of my own, people that have the DLC and people that didn't buy the DLC, and I just asked them a simple question: why? For the most part, I think the feedback was really good, but there was some surprising answers that I got, and some that just kind of confounded me. So I've put together a bit of a comparison and demonstration for you today, not to say that one thing is better than the other, but just to give you a good idea of what you're getting for your money and why I feel it's worth having this pack. So it includes 11 items in this DLC altogether. In the drivable class, you're going to be getting a Case IH Maxim 5150, a JCB 525-67, a JCB Fastrac 150, a Massey Ferguson 390T, and a New Holland TX 34, header trailer included. In the attachables, you're going to be getting an Amazon D8-30 Special, a Kavernlin EG85, and a Lemkin Smargard 80-260, and I kind of mangled that last part there, so forgive me on that one. And you're also going to be getting a Lizard TA18. So we have a lot of information to go over, so we're going to get to it right after this message.
Experience magical fun and adventure by entering the simulated world of Eustace Pharmer, bringing reality into the virtual reality.
Alrighty, so let's get down to the first model that I wanted to clarify here, because this is one where some have said, why do I want to buy the DLC model of the Case tractor when we have the in-game one and it looks pretty much identical? Well, they don't look identical, they look similar, but the Maxim 5150 tractor from the DLC has a lot more options and it costs a lot less money than the standard Case 1455 from Giants. So here's the comparison apples to apples on this one. The Giants 1455 XL, 145 horsepower. The Maxim standard model, which is the red one in the middle there, is 132 horsepower. They both go 24 miles an hour top speed. The Giants Case is $260 a day maintenance. The Maxim is $300, so it is $40 more on the maintenance. Now here's the big deal right here. To buy the Giants model, the 1455, it's going to cost you $102,000. To buy the Maxim Standard Edition, it's going to cost you $55,840. That's a savings of $46,160. Now to lease the Giants model is $8,160 a day. To lease the Maxim is $4,467 a day. That's a savings of $3,693 a day. Huge difference. But now, if we jump up to the next model, the Maxim 5150 Pro, it's going to cost $10,500 more than the standard model in the DLC, but you're getting 150 horsepower versus 132. Again, compared to the Giants, 24 mile an hour top speed on both. The maintenance on the Maxim jumps up to $321 a day though. But again, here's the big cost savings. You can buy this one for $66,340. That's a savings of $35,660. You can lease this for $5,307. That's a savings of $2,853 a day over the Giants in-game Case. So if you're a budget-conscious person and you play the game, hardcore, I mean, you can get away with, if you're on a small farm, with just this tractor alone. This will do all your plowing, cultivating, sowing. This will do everything for you, especially if you're using the stuff in the pack. Okay, so let's go ahead over and have a look at what all the variations look like lined up. So the first one in our lineup here is the Case Maxim 5150 Standard in red. It's got a front weight on it, 132 horsepower, 24 mile an hour top speed, 300 a day maintenance. The second one is the same specs. It's in the black silver variation, also with wide tires. And then we have the 50,000 Black Edition and 50,000 Red Edition, same specs as the other two. And then we jump up to the 5150 Pro. I have them in black and red here. Twin wheels on both axles, front loader capability, 3-point front hydraulic linkage, 150 horsepower, 24 mile an hour top speed, and then the maintenance jumps up to $321 a day. The rims come in silver or gray. Your choice, no extra charge for that. And here we have the 5150 Pro Variation 2. So 150 horsepower, $321 a day maintenance, front hydraulic 3-point linkage, front loader, wide tires on the red, and then the black one has the same specs but with the row crop narrow tires. Now I don't quite know the difference between the Variation 2 and just the standard 5150 Pro. I looked it over up and down, I can't see a difference. So if you know, please let me know. The JCB Fastrac 150. Next to the Giants Fastrac 3000 Extra. The Fastrac 150 has 159 horsepower, which is 36 horsepower less than the 195 horsepower of the Giants model. The Fastrac has a $300 day maintenance fee, which is $50 more than the $250 maintenance fee on the Giants model. The Fastrac 150 has a top speed of 40 miles an hour, which is just 3 miles per hour less than the Giant's 43 mile per hour top speed. There is a bit of a small compromise with the 150 versus the 3000. 36 horsepower is a little bit of a dip, but I think if you're willing to run just a little bit smaller equipment and a little bit lighter loads, it's going to make up for it again in the cost savings. You can buy the DLC Fastrac 150 for $65,230 out the door. Now that is, hold on to your seats, $99,770 less than the price tag on the Giants Fastrac 3000 Extra, which is $165,000 even. You can lease the DLC Fastrac 150 for $5,218 a day, which comes in $7,982 less than the Giants price tag of $13,200 a day. So let me cheer you up a little bit regarding the JCB 150. This is a highly customizable vehicle, which the Giants model is not. So it offers standard tires for no charge, wide tires are an extra $1,000, rear twins are $3,000 extra, twins on both axles are $6,000 extra, and narrow or row crop tires are an extra $800. Now you can buy the standard model like you saw before and have your 159 horsepower, 26 mile an hour top speed. Or you can incrementally upgrade it all the way up to the top model where you're going to get 168 horsepower, which narrows the gap with the Giants 195 horsepower. So now you're not short 36 horsepower, you're only short 27. You're also going to get a top speed of 48 miles per hour, which beats the Giants' 43 mile an hour top speed. Now, the one I'm talking about has all the bells and whistles, dual wheels on both axles, all the upgrades, $390 a day maintenance, but it's only going to cost you $79,930 to buy it, which is going to save you $85,070 over the $165,000 price tag of Giants. You can lease the 150, all bells and whistles, for $6,856 a day, which beats the $13,200 a day for the Giants model. If you don't want dual wheels on both axles, hey, take $6,000 off the price and you can buy it out the door for $73,930 instead of $79,000. All's looking good in the hood. So while we're looking at JCBs, let's talk about the JCB 525-67 telehandler from the DLC pack. This has 141 horsepower, it's $180 a day maintenance, and a 12-mile-an-hour top speed. Now, this is half the speed of all the other telehandlers that Giants has made in-game and a lot of the mods. But I've come to figure out a little bit of reasoning with this here. I kind of liken it to being like your mother. And what I mean by that is, your mother takes you out to a store, and there's some breakable, delicate objects in this store. Now, to keep you from running around, she's going to hold on to your hand a bit and keep you under control. Well, that's what this 12-mile-an-hour top speed does, in my opinion. In most situations where these telehandlers are used, you're in very tight surroundings. Whether it's a loading dock and you're moving in and out of trucks or on a farm, you don't want to be really whizzing around at 24 miles an hour. Not to mention that your load can become a bit unstable when you're traveling at those speeds. And at least where I come from, I've never seen a telehandler driving on the road. They're yard vehicles. So this 12-mile-an-hour top speed kind of keeps control over you, whereas you may not have that control on your own, myself included. So just think of it as yo mama. And I mean that in the nicest way. Thanks, Mom. So I usually gravitate in the past to the New Holland LM7-42. That has a 24-mile-an-hour top speed. But I always thought it had a more wide wheelbase, and I just thought it had, a better in-cab view and all that. But I've been wrong, because when I put this back to back with the DLC model, I found that it doesn't have a wider wheelbase. They're the same. There is a little bit difference in height with the JCB model, and it looks to be about maybe 6 to 8 inches higher than the New Holland. But that's it. Now, that 6 to 8 inches could mean the difference of you getting into a low covered area or not, but under most circumstances, I don't feel that that's going to be an issue. Also, the JCB is more compact in length than the New Holland and most of the other telehandlers in the game. Now, I put together a comparison for you with a JCB in-game and also a mod. I know that's not really fair, but this mod, in my opinion, is very similar to the DLC JCB, and that's why I added it in, and it's very popular amongst all of us farm simmers, so I thought it was appropriate to put it in the lineup. So now, if we put the JCB 52567 from the DLC up against the Merlot has 140 horsepower, so the DLC model has 1 horsepower more. Woohoo! The Merlot has a daily maintenance of $100 a day, $180 a day for the DLC, so that's $80 more. Merlot has a top speed of 24 miles an hour, and the JCB has a 12 mile an hour, as we discussed. You can buy the Merlot for $90,000, and again, you can buy the JCB for $64,780. So you're going to put $25,220 in your pocket by using the JCB. If you want to lease the Merlot, it's going to cost you $7,200 a day. And to lease the JCB DLC is $5,182. You're going to put $2,018 in your pocket using the JCB. Now, regarding the JCB from Giants, the TM320S, a couple of things that I've never really liked about this particular model, and that is it has an articulated body. So that kind of adds to the inertia when you're making turns and you have a precarious load, and the centered boom. I find it to obstruct my view because I'm an in-cab driver most of the time, and I find that the off-center booms allow for a much better viewing area. Also with the centered boom, I find that the higher you go with a load, and I'm talking not really that high, it starts to kind of get unstable. The whole vehicle starts to kind of sway back and forth a bit. And coupled again with that articulating body, you're kind of scheduling yourself for a tip over. But again, that's just me. You may get on with it just fine. I just prefer to have one of the other models. But anyway, let's get to the specs on this real quick. And as a side note, not to worry, I'm not going to drag the whole video out like this. I've just really focused heavily on the vehicles, and the other stuff that we're going to go over is going to go much quicker. That being said, the JCB TM320S by Giants is 145 horsepower versus 141 on the DLC JCB. So 4 horsepower less on the DLC, $180 maintenance for both, 24 mile an hour top speed for Giants, 12 for the DLC. You can buy the Giants JCB for $112,000. The JCB DLC, again, $64,780. So you're going to save $47,220 by using the Matte XJS DLC. You can lease the Giants model for $8,960 a day. You can lease the DLC model for $5,182. That's a savings again, $3,778. So at the end of the day, like I keep saying, it's all going to come down to cost. I think the specs are pretty similar, with the exception, of course, of the top speed. But I think it's going to wind up to be your preference. You want something new and different, you want to try something else, this is a great mod to go for. And I'm going to be gravitating towards this one a lot more myself. Alright, so no matter how exciting I try to keep the videos, I know the information can be boring, so I'm trying to keep the videos at a more palatable length. So at this point, when you see the closing credits, you're going to see the icon come up on the screen for part 2. Please go ahead and click on that and continue watching the review. You can also click on the next video in the playlist down in the description. So I want to thank you very much for watching part 1, and I'm looking forward to getting together with you in part 2. See you there. And on your way out, please consider following me on Facebook and Twitter, and join me on Discord by becoming a member of the Simulation Gaming Society. Please give the video a thumbs up and share it with your friends if you liked it, and a thumbs down if you're a big poophead and didn't like it. Consider subscribing, and don't forget to tap that alert bell so you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Thanks again.